Missouri's back and it's better than ever. I mean, my former home state, one of three, they've decided to give small children guns. As a matter of fact, there was a legislation put forward to ban children from carrying guns openly in the streets. And of course, the local and state politicians there, controlled by Republicans, completely voted that down. Here's more about that proposal, because it was made to ban children from carrying guns without adult supervision in public. And it failed by 104 to 39 vote. There was one Republican that voted in support of it because he was thinking, wow, why give a 10-year-old a gun to walk around in public? What could he possibly use it for? And by the way, that little caveat without adult supervision, I don't care. I don't want a 35-year-old father walking around with his 10-year-old son with a gun strapped to his hip. I still don't see the reason for it, but still. More because there was also police officers. This is a big crux of this. Police officers were also thinking, yo, if we now are ready to expect children to be walking around with guns on their hips, we're a little bit more worried about this. Democratic Representative Donna Behringer said police in her district asked for the change that Republicans voted down to stop 14-year-olds from walking down the middle of the street in the city of St. Louis carrying AR-15s. Not sure if they're exaggerating there, but we've seen it in other states. Now they have been emboldened and they're walking around with them, is what Behringer said, until they actually brandish them with intent. Our police officers' hands are handcuffed. So this is some of the justification from Republicans that were in favor of it, and see if this makes any sense to you. Well, it may be intuitive that a 14-year-old has no legitimate purpose. It doesn't actually mean that they're going to harm someone. We don't know that yet. That's what Representative Tony Lavasco said. He's a Republican from the St. Louis suburb of O'Fallon. Wasn't far from O'Fallon. Generally speaking, we don't charge people with crimes because we think they're going to hurt someone. No, but we do have police officers that assume someone is committing a crime and they take full-on lethal force on them for it. Specifically when it comes to carrying guns around, and specifically certain types of folks who many times don't have guns, but they assume so anyway because they think that guy must have a gun. I'm looking at him and he's the type of person that I'm afraid of. I think you guys know what I'm talking about and how this may expand to more incidents like that. But still, Missouri Republicans are getting other things done, but we'll get to that in a second. I want your first thoughts on the gun issue, and I'm trying to find a scenario when it makes sense for a child to be walking around with guns in the middle of the street.
I don't think they've ever met a kid, JR. I mean, kids smash toy trains together for fun, just to see what happens. They like destruction. Kids will hit their siblings and they'll be like, why did you hit your brother? And they'll be like, I don't know. So you're gonna give the kids deadly weapons? The whole thing is their brains aren't fully developed yet. That's why we don't let them, I don't know, drive cars. In North Carolina, you need to have a state license in order to get a firearm. So how are they going to get the firearms in Missouri? I mean, they're gonna be like, you know what? Because you're a kid, you don't have a license yet. Why? Because it wouldn't be safe for you to drive a deadly vehicle. But you know what? We'll make an exception and we'll give you an AR-15. It makes absolutely no sense. It's totally absurd.
If it's for safety, defending the home, something pops off out in the streets, and they need more of those defensive good guys with guns, as Republicans like to say, or anyone's been paid off by the NRA likes to say. Do you expect a 12-year-old kid to handle the gun well? Maybe shoot correctly? Maybe all those things don't happen under responsible gun ownership. Maybe those things might not really make much sense. So the reason left is more money, more death, more killing, more people afraid of everyone with guns, therefore they buy even more. Weird, because that benefits the same gun lobby that pays politicians to come up with 104 to 39 vote. Let's jump down to Texas, you guys. Because since we're talking about responsible gun ownership with children, I think there's a nice connection here. This happened in a town called Rising Star, where a Texas third grader found a gun that a superintendent left in the school bathroom. And the police have opened an investigation, not because they were told about it, but because the school hid it from many folks, including parents. Roughly a month after a Texas third grade student found a gun belonging to a superintendent in that school bathroom, parents expressed their concerns that they weren't notified sooner by school officials. Many of them said they found out from news reports, bro. Superintendent Robbie Stuteville explained that he took off the gun and placed it in a stall while using the bathroom. We've seen that with politicians as well. The firearm remained in the bathroom unattended for about 15 minutes before it was found. Not by Robbie Stuteville, but by some other student, by a third grader, by the way. Not Stuteville, who was so comfortable with his gun that he didn't even realize he didn't have the damn thing on his hip for 15 minutes and probably longer because someone else found it. He didn't go, oh, it's been 15 minutes. Where's my gun? No, someone else found it. There's more though. This is disastrous. So the teacher asked another kid, the kid came back, said his gun in the bathroom. The teacher asked another kid, this particular man telling this story, his son, can you go see if it's a real gun? Why would you send a kid? Again, what this father said, Giovanni Mata. Why not send someone else? Mata and his family, even more devastatingly, had just recently moved from the area in Uvalde, Texas, where we know that disastrous massacre happened last May. A little bit more though, because people will decide to have some positive things about this guy in his approach to things. This is what he said though, somehow getting some people's attention. There was never a danger other than the obvious, is what Stuteville said. And he was proud of the student for how he handled the situation. He said, this is one of those examples of guns in schools. Regardless of who takes responsibility, they are a considerable danger. And one should school their child to be on the lookout for any unusual placement of a weapon or anything out of place. Is what the guy who put the gun in unusual placement of a weapon and put it out of place. Good thing we have third graders that can find my weapon and then tell an authority figure, and I'm glad we have that backing. Teach your kids about how to find guns in bathroom stalls that an adult who says he was a responsible gun owner left there. But still, right over in St. Louis, we're gonna put those guns in those children's hands. At this rate, it looks like the kids are more responsible than these adults here. But he's happy about that.
Just third grade things. Leaving your gun behind in the bathroom on accident. We need a commercial, like, the Cars for Kid commercial, Jayar, where it's like CARS, Cars for Kids.
Don't get the song in my mind, please.
We need one that's AR-15s for kids, for AR-15s. It's gonna be a new jingle for, maybe we'll do a, used gun buyback program and then distribute them among the third graders. God bless America.
If you guys are original old school watch list watchers from a full on year ago, you may remember that story we did of childlike size AR-15 style weapons being made and exhibited and sold at gun shows. And they were like, perfect for your little one. And it goes perfectly with this. It's almost like the money making scheme for this whole thing is all laid out for the folks who are adding more killing weapons into our society at younger and younger rates. Good job, you guys. That's Texas and that's also Missouri. I love my family back in Missouri. I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon.